Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Roseanne Riddick, the National Nursing Manager for Cura Health, and today I want to take you through the paperwork for your vitality screenings. There's many little problems that they pick up when they are logging the vitalities at the main office in Pretoria, and if you are just aware of the importance of some of the questions that are asked, it makes the whole logging process and thereby the allocation of the points for the vitality for the client much easier. The form has changed format a bit over the past few months. The one that we're currently using looks like this. On the front it has the client's data and the clinical data, and on the back it has your signature space with all the data for the client to read there when giving consent for your blood forms. So I'm going to take you through this. I will also attach this form to the emails that I send out to you folks again. Although many of you have done vitalities, there's quite a few of you who have never seen a vitality form before, and we want to push the vitalities quite a bit in the areas that they haven't been done in before. When you look at the first section on this form, it is called the Client Personal Information, the very top section. In there you will fill in your client's details. You'll have Mr., Mrs., Miss, date of birth, the client's full name and surname, ID number, cell phone number, and the email address of the main member. It is important that you put the email address of the main member in there, because the points that are allocated and the correspondence that needs to be done needs to be sent back to the main member of the medical scheme, which in the vitalities case is Discovery, for whom we do vitalities. So that needs to be the main member's email address in that section over there. The rest of it is the client whom you are doing the vitality for, a client in front of you. The next section we have a look at is the main member information. Now, many of you say, but I've just filled it in up top there because it might be the main member on whom you're doing the vitality. But even if it is the same member that you are doing the vitality on, please fill this information in again. Many of you whom I've spoken to when doing the vitality training, I've often said, there's a block or a stripe for a reason. It wants information on it. Please write information on it. Don't leave it blank because you don't think it's important. Every bit of information on this form is what's needed when logging or managing the call back at the office to allocate the vitality points. So in the second block you have the main member information, main member first name, main member surname, main member ID number, main member date of birth, Discovery medical aid number or the Discovery policy number. Now the medical aid number is very important. Again, you will often get a client who says, I don't know my vitality, my medical aid number, my wife's got it. Then take a bit of time, ask him to phone his wife and get the medical aid number, please. Again, the points cannot be allocated if that number is not there. Cell phone number, so that should there be some reason we need to contact the client, we have a contact number. Vitality number is very dicey because very few clients know their vitality number, and it is also not on their medical aid or their medical scheme card. That one is not such a train smash, but if you can get it, please put it in there. The medical aid number is the more important one. You will often get that the client is not a medical scheme client, but a policy life insurance client. And then they won't have a medical aid number, but they will have a policy number. So when you are getting the client's details, ask, is it a medical aid number or a policy number? They might have both. If they have both, put them both in. The medical aid scheme, for example, Delta, is very important, please. Again, it helps the ladies back at the office when they are entering the points onto the system to know how many points must be allocated, on which scheme is the client, and what points go according to that scheme. So that one is very important as well, please. Right, the next section on this form is called the screening, sister to complete all fields. Again, I want to say to you, please do not stick any fingers into any clients before you have written consent from your client. So before you go to section 3, Turn the page over and do the back end. The back end asks the client to read and to give consent for things. Now, something I want you to be very aware of over here, and I normally underline this for the client. I'm going to do it in the air here. There's words, wait, let me do it like this. There's words in capital letters over there that says, Curo Health Consulting Pharmacies. Please underline that and show it to the client, because when we do the claiming process again back at the office, there will be a deduction or an action on the client's monthly statement from his medical scheme stating that an amount of money was taken off by Curo Health Consulting Pharmacies. We have had complaints from clients in the past saying, who on earth is Curo Health Consulting Pharmacies? I never went to such a pharmacy, so how dare you take money off? So please explain to them that when they see an action on their statement saying Curo Health Consulting Pharmacy has taken money off their medical scheme, should be off their vitality section, it is for the vitality which they are undergoing. And they needn't panic that someone is doing illegal transactions on their medical scheme. What I normally do on this form is I make big crosses. Some of you make little dots. I make big crosses so that the client sees it. And I ask the client, ma'am, sir, please write your name over there. Read what is stated. Please take note that Curo Health Consulting Pharmacy is the name of our company, and we will be doing a deduction for your vitality points. Write your name over there and sign your name at the bottom. During that process of signing, I say to the client here, will we be doing an HIV screening on you today? Again, this sometimes causes confusion because the clients think it automatically comes with the vitality. Or they will say to you, I had it done last week when I did my life insurance. Or sister, you did it with me last week when I did my screening with you. Do I have to do it again? The client has the choice of doing it again, taking two things into consideration. Firstly, if they do the HIV screening as well, they will get, I think it's about 5,000 points, but we can check that, extra to their vitality. So it's quite a few points extra in getting their next status on their vitality system. The glucose and the cholesterol is fairly normal and standard with the vitalities, and I'd like you to ignore the flu and PSA bloods for men. We do those, but in very rare circumstances. So ask the client, will we be doing an HIV screening on you? If the client says yes, then tick it off. The other thing which the clients sometimes say over here, I know I'm HIV positive, or I know my status, why do I have to do it again? Over and above the extra points that they get, those results are not recorded anywhere on this form. So the results stay between you and the client. The client just gets the points. I'll go through this process just now in front of you. So once you've marked off the HIV, glucose and cholesterol, you can put the date in there when you do it now, or you can do it later when you sign. You can then go back to your front part and do your clinical section. On the clinical section, there are a few pointers again, and Bernice has highlighted them in yellow for me to take you through them. Some of you forget or are in too much of a hurry or just don't see them, I'm not sure which of it is, to fill in some of these points on this screen. The data capture ladies cannot process this form to get the allocated vitality points for the client if every single one of these little blocks is not filled in. It has to all be there to get the points for the client. If one little block is not filled in, they cannot complete the transaction and the client does not get his or her vitality points. So the first thing on this one is, are you a smoker? Yes, no, or used to be. The next question is, if you used to smoke, when did you stop? Approximate. It doesn't have to be the 3rd of June 1997. It can just be about 20 years ago or about 6 months ago, although many smokers will be able to say to you the 16th of June 1997. The next few things are clinical tests which you will do, and I want you to skip them for first and go to the right hand side. Don't worry about the payment options. That the ladies at the reception at the front of the Vitality